Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Learning Electronics. In this first lecture of introduction of HTML, we are going to understand the basic concepts of HTML along with the role of HTML, CSS, JavaScript while designing the web pages or websites. So let us see what are the contents we are going to discuss in this lecture. First one is, what is HTML? Then we are going to understand the role of HTML, CSS and JavaScript while designing the web pages with the help of example. Then we are going to understand the boilerplate code of the HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. As this language uses tags to define the structure of the content, therefore it is called as markup language. HTML is used to create the structure or skeleton of web pages and its content. That means, like for example, we want to create a web page which consists of two buttons, one form, one input field, then it should contain some headings, it should contain some paragraphs. So this basic structure is designed using HTML code without any color and without any styling. So if we want to apply styling, colors, padding, borders, etc., then we have to use the CSS. HTML is a standard markup language for web pages. That means it is accepted as a standard for making the web pages because this HTML is easy to use, easy to access, and it is also used across different platforms and devices. That means it is compatible in different platforms and devices. Therefore, it is accepted as standard markup language for designing the web pages. Now let us understand the markup language with the help of example. Here we have taken a paragraph element which is represented by P. Now if we write any HTML element inside this type of greater than and smaller than symbols, then it becomes a HTML tag. Whenever we write any HTML element inside these tags, then it becomes a HTML tag. Okay, so this is the paragraph tag which is represented by P. This is the opening tag or starting tag, and this is the closing tag. When we write slash inside these symbols, then it becomes a closing tag. So the HTML code always consists of one opening tag and one closing tag along with the content in between. So this opening and closing tag has content in between. This content is the content of this particular paragraph tag. That means we are telling the browser that this welcome should be displayed as a paragraph. And if we write h1 here in both closing and opening tag, then we will tell the browser that this welcome should be displayed as a heading on the browser. So here we are marking the word welcome by the P tag so that the browser know how to display it. That means whether it should be displayed as a paragraph or whether it should be displayed as a heading. So here we are telling the browser that this welcome should be displayed as a paragraph. Therefore, the markup language is a language that marks the information by tagging them. So whenever a tagging is used in any code, then that type of language is called as markup language. As we have seen from the previous example that HTML code consists of elements along with their content. Okay, so if we want to design a big web page with so many features, then we have to use series of HTML elements. So we can say that HTML elements are the building block of HTML pages. With the help of HTML elements only, we can create the HTML pages. And these HTML elements are represented by tags. So we always write the HTML element inside the tag as we have seen from the previous example. Now let us take one example to understand the role of HTML, CSS and JavaScript for creating interactive or dynamic web pages. Here we have taken one HTML code to understand the role of all these three. This is the body tag. Inside the body tag, we have two HTML elements. Here we have taken the body tag because whatever we write inside the body tag will be displayed on the browser. So we have taken two HTML element. One is H1 element, which represents the heading element. One is a button element. Okay. This H1 element has the content heading. This button element has the change color content. Okay. So this change color will be displayed on the button, and this heading will be displayed on the top. So this H1 defines the font size of this content heading here. So when we run this code, we will get this type of output. So here you can see only black and white web page is displayed here. No padding is added, no margins are added, no styling to the buttons or no styling to the heading is added here. So this type of output is called as skeleton. Okay. So here only structure of the web page which we want is created with the help of HTML. So if we want to apply the color, styling or margins or padding to the web page, we have to use the CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. CSS is a language for specifying how documents are presented to the user. So as we have seen from the previous example, so if we want to add beauty, presentation or styles to any web page, then we have to use the cascading style sheet. So this cascading style sheets adds a attractive features to the web page. Now let us take the same example and apply the CSS to it. So when we apply the CSS to the same structure of the web page, then we will get this type of output. Here you can see the button has some styling, the button has some color and heading has some color, and also we have changed the background color to black. And we have also applied some padding and margin to it. This web page is looking more attractive than before. So if we want to increase the attractiveness of any web page, then we have to apply the CSS. And if we want that this heading should change the color, when we press this change color button, then we have to apply JavaScript code. So this JavaScript code will make this web page dynamic nature, or we can say the JavaScript code will apply working feature to the web page. Therefore, JavaScript is called as programming language for the web because it is used to make the web page more interactive, more dynamic, as the JavaScript can update and change both HTML and CSS. Moreover, JavaScript can also calculate, manipulate and validate the data. Now let us take the same example and apply the JavaScript code to it. After applying the JavaScript code, when we press this button, change color, then the color of the heading is changing. That means we have made the web page dynamic. Now let us understand the role of CSS, HTML and JavaScript with the help of real life example. Here you can see this is the skeleton of a man which is created by the HTML. That means the skeleton of the web page is created by the HTML. And when we add skin and clothes to this skeleton, then this is the output we are getting. That means presentation or the beauty or the style is added by the CSS to the web page. And if we want to add movement to this man, then we have to apply the JavaScript code. So here you can see the man is moving here. That means the JavaScript code adds life to the web page. That means it adds dynamic behavior to the web page, whereas HTML and CSS adds only static behavior. With the help of CSS, we can change only one color or only one cloth, but with the help of JavaScript code, we can change many clothes and we can change many color. This is the HTML document which is called as boilerplate code because these code lines are the minimum code lines which are required to start the HTML coding without any variation. Now let us understand each and every line of this boilerplate code. First line of this boilerplate code is document type HTML with an exclamatory mark. As you can see, this is the first line of the HTML document. It stands for document type declaration, which is used to inform the web browser that the document being rendered is a HTML document, and it also tells about the version of the HTML. So if we write this type of representation like doc type HTML, then we are saying the browser that we are using the version of HTML5. Next line in the boilerplate code is HTML tag or HTML element with opening tag and closing tag. And inside this opening and closing tag of HTML, we have head tag and body tag. So HTML tag is called as a root element of the HTML document or root tag of the HTML document. And as you can see, this HTML tag is the container for all the HTML elements except this document type tag, which represents the version of the HTML. So in the HTML opening tag, we should include this lang attribute, and this lang attribute's value is en. That means we are using the English language for our web page, and this lang attribute is useful to assist the search engines and browsers. Next tag inside the HTML document is head tag, which contains the meta information. It is used as a container for metadata, that means data for data. It is used between HTML tag and body tag. Metadata defines the document title, characters set, styles, links, scripts, and other meta information. Whatever content is written in between this closing and opening head tags will not be displayed on the browser on page loading. Inside the head tag, we can see a meta tag in the boilerplate code of the HTML. So this is the meta tag which represents the meta information, and it is using a attribute which is character set attribute whose value is UTF-8. Head tag can contain a number of meta tags, but in boilerplate code we have only one meta tag. So this meta tag has a attribute which is character set, and this character set attribute has a value UTF-8. So the meta tag is placed within the head tag, and it can be used more than one times in a document. HTML meta tag is used to represent the metadata about the HTML document. It specifies page description, keywords, copyright language, author of the documents, etc. The metadata does not display on the website, but it is used by the search engine, browsers, and other web services which scan the site or web page to know about the web page. As you can see in the boilerplate code, the attribute used for the meta tag is the character set attribute with a value UTF-8. This character set attribute used in the meta tag defines the character set used in the document. Here UTF stands for Unicode Transformation Format. This UTF-8 is a default character set in HTML, and it is used to translate the number to binary. Next tag inside the head tag is the title tag. This title tag specifies the title of the document or a web page. The title is shown in the browser's title bar or in the page tab. This we will see when we see the example in the next class. Last tag in the boilerplate code is the body tag. This body tag contains the information which is displayed on the browser, so it can have number of elements inside it. That means the body tag defines the main content of the HTML document which is displayed on the browser. It can contain text content, paragraphs, headings, images, tables, links, videos, etc. The body must be the second element after the head tag. It should be placed between the closing head tag and the closing HTML tag. This tag is required for every HTML document and should only be used once in the whole HTML document. Now let us understand the role of web browser in creating the web pages. This browser reads the HTML code and converts it to web page without displaying any of the tags on the web page. It only displays the content of the HTML code on the web page. So the browsers can be any browser along with the Chrome. It can be Safari, it can be Firefox, it can be Edge, Opera, or Internet Explorer, with the help of which we can convert the HTML code to the web page. So hope you have understood the topic. Thank you very much for watching, and please do subscribe my channel for more updates.